Hey guys, I'm Nathan with Seek Outside, and this is the 8-Person Tipi. So some quick specs on the 8-Person. This tent is 8 feet 6 inches tall at the peak, and it has a 16-foot diameter. That gives it 195 square feet of covered floor area. We tend to think of tents in terms of usability, and that generally relates to sitting area and standing area. So sitting area in this tent, the amount of the floor space that is above 36 inches tall is 84 square feet. A lot of sitting area offered in this tent. Standing area is 27 square feet. To give you some color around that number, this tent is really the first one in our lineup that is above a mathematical tipping point, where you start to really get a lot of comfortable move around standing room. You can contrast this with its little brother, the 6-Person, and they're only 8 inches difference in height. The 6-Person's 7'10", this one is 8'6", but this tent has over 3 times as much standing area as the 6-Person. So as you can see, I'm 6'3", and it is quite easy for me to walk around in this tent without hitting my head. This tent has 2 doors on opposite sides that allows you to open them to the right or to the left, or both, for maximum ventilation. These features are common to all of our teepees. There are 10 main seams, including the 2 zippers. So you've got 2 zippers and then 8 seams. And in those main seams, there are very durable stake loops. We have midpoint stake loops in the fabric panels in between those. That gives you a total of 20 stake loops that you can use to peg down this tent. 24 inches up from the main stake loops, we have sewn in guy-out points. And these guy-out points are every bit as durable as the stake loops themselves, and there's a reason for that. If you are in an area where it's brushy, or you have a very limited spot that you can pitch this tent, you can actually fold some of the fabric underneath and pitch it using the guy-out points instead of the main stake loops. We call that flexipitch. It pitches an 8-Person down to about the size of a 6. The guy-out points are not necessary to use. They are there for several reasons. If you're expecting extremely high winds or bad weather, you can shore up your pitch using them. They're also very handy to steepen the sidewalls and give yourself some more headroom above your sleeping area. Another trick is that you can shrink your footprint a bit. So go from a 16-foot diameter, suck up 6 inches or so, and that will leave some slack in the canopy, which you can then take up with the guy-out lines, and that will steepen the sidewalls at the bottom and give an area for snow to collect. So if you're in a heavy snow event, that steeper wall with a drop at the bottom means you don't have to do as much maintenance to keep the snow off of your tent canopy. Common to all of our teepees, the 8-Person has a full-length zipper flap that really helps prevent rain from penetrating the zipper. A full perimeter sod skirt goes a long way towards sealing out drafts in cold weather. In fact, in heavy snow, you can actually put snow on top of the sod skirt and seal the tent down to the ground completely. In warm weather, you can fold the sod skirt up, even prop that up off the ground to aid in ventilation, or you can make stake loop extensions and pitch the entire canopy up off the ground to get a maximum amount of ventilation. The 8-Person, of course, is sized for up to 8 people without a stove. It works very well for up to 4 with a stove and a lot of gear. As you can see here, I've got 3 cots plus a Helinox chair, and you'd still have plenty of room for extra gear or an extra person if you needed it. As a family tent, I'm able to get myself, my wife, my son, and my 18-month-old daughter. So 3 cots and a pack and play in here without a stove. and it's a good size for that. We offer liners for our teepees that can really help with condensation. A liner is simply a single layer of fabric that attaches to the stake loops at the bottom of the tent and to loops about 2/3 of the way to the top. And the point of the liner is to catch any drips from condensation that might occur and to funnel them back to the ground, which of course keeps your sleeping area dry. We also offer a half nest that gives full bug protection and is really good in family situations. You know, it's really hard to overstate how much comfort a wood stove can give you, especially in trips where you have bad weather. Those trips where you have freeze, thaw, mud, rain, sleet, snow mixed for days on end. You get back to the tent at night, you're cold and wet, and all you have to look forward to is eating a cold meal and getting into a cold sleeping bag and hoping that you dry out by morning. Add a wood stove into the equation and suddenly your prospects look a little brighter. You get back to the tent at night, you can hang clothes and dry them. You can enjoy a cup of hot tea. You can go to bed warm and dry. And when you get up in the morning, you start a fire from your sleeping bag. Get the tent nice and warm. Set your boots next to the stove. And by the time you get dressed, your boots are toasty warm when you put your feet in them. The wood stove can really turn a character building trip into a good memory. So the 8-person teepee, I think, is very versatile and it fills a lot of different roles. This tent is light enough that if you've got 3 to 4 people backpacking it as a hot tent, it's doable to pack this thing 3 miles into the mountains. Horse packers, it's big enough to be a good horse packing tent. It's big enough to be a good family tent. Light and small to pack for the size that you get. So it's just a really good size to weight ratio in this tent, and it provides a tremendous amount of comfort. I hope that you found this video helpful to see some of the features and benefits of the 8-person. So check it out on our website, and while you're there, look at some of our other gear that will help you to seek outside.